You're watching 24/7 Live Culture.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Movie Box Talks. We have a special guest. I'm your host, Phedora.
I'm Rhanni Lou.
What up, y'all? The main host, Deion.
Yes, and we have a special guest with us today, Michaela P. Shelton. We are so happy to have you.
Oakland in the building.
Yes, thank
The
you for
Bay is
having
in the
me. I'm super
building.
excited. Yes, let's get into it. I'm so excited.
Yes. So a little bit about Michaela before we jump into this interview. She is a writer. She is a director. She is an actress. She has an amazing journey. And I'm a little biased. Deion is a little biased, but she is from the Bay Area. Where we from?
Yeah.
Period.
Let's go.
West Coast.
Yes. And yes, West Coast is in the building today. All of us.
Period.
And she has done an amazing thing where she's giving opportunities for other creatives of colors to really spotlight the beautiful Bay Area and to give them opportunities to be part of her project. One of her best known projects right now that is on Tubi, and if you haven't seen it, Reckless Behavior. And the MBT, yes. And the MBT squad is getting the first look, or the first listen, I should say, on what she's got coming next for season 3. I'm excited to hear about it. And just her journey as a writer, as an actress, and to just share her insight in the industry. So without further ado, Michaela, why don't you go ahead and give our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yes, Michaela. Yeah, so my name is Michaela P. Shelton. I'm from San Leandro, California. I've been a filmmaker for about 6 years now. Started off as a blogger and an independent content writer, and kind of got into filmmaking just to see if I could do it. It was kind of experimental. I didn't think that I'd want to make it a career, but I had a lot of fun. Everybody was kind of like, that was really good. And I was like, really? It was? Like, you guys actually liked it? Because I just wanted to see if I could do it, honestly. And I think that after blogging for like 5 years, I kind of was itching to do something new. So that's how I got into filmmaking. Reckless Behavior started in 2018. Now it's 2024. So the third season is about to come out this fall. Super excited. And I just feel like I've gotten better in my craft. I've been working with so many talented people and just excited for what's next for sure.
Yes. Okay, so you gave us a little snippet of your your filmmaking journey, like how you started, but we had a little off-camera conversation, and you let me know if you feel comfortable, but can you share a little bit about how it started, like the core of like how you became a blogger to the filmmaking of writing? Like, I think that story, like, it kind of touched me, so I would love for you to share.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I didn't know if I was getting right into the whole thing. Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, okay. So after graduating from school, I graduated from San Jose State University in 2015. I was very frustrated because I felt like, oh, now I'm an adult. Now I have my degree. Everything's going to go great. I'm going to get married. I'm going to get my job because I have a degree. I'm going to be making all this money, get a house. And I was really in this fantasy world of like what I saw on TV and what would happen after you graduated. So when it didn't go that way, I was so frustrated. I was so disappointed. And I was like, oh, like we always been so excited about being adults. And now I'm seeing like what it really is. Like they didn't tell us it was like this. So I was frustrated, and I kind of started blogging about like different things I experienced, like trying to live with your parents once you move back after college and like what that looks like, trying to date and people not wanting to be serious when you do, and living with roommates because California is expensive, and just everything, like outgrowing friendships. I would just write about all the things I would go through as an outlet for myself, and to also let other people know, like, if you're struggling, you're not the only one. Like, we're all out here struggling. So
Yeah.
my blog was kind of just for therapeutic reasons, and I ended up getting a little following, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, people will reach out to me, like, of all ages, like, I can relate to this, I went through something similar, and I just kept kind of doing it. And then I was also doing write-ups of people that had music, basically all like Black creatives and Black entrepreneurs. I would do write-ups just to help them get more exposure, because that's also really important to me, just highlighting like talented people. And somebody reached out to me to review a web series, and I had never watched a web series before, but I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like, y'all in Atlanta, like, I'll for sure like do a write-up for you. And it kind of just inspired me and had me thinking, like, what if I came out with like a series version of my show? Because I know not everybody is like a blog reader. So it just made me like want to try it. I started like asking that person like how they got started and asking them for like advice. And that's how it kind of went from like blogging about like the millennial experience to having a show about the different struggles I was going through.
I love that. Yes, that's nice. Can you kind of share maybe what this series was that you had to write a review about? Or are you allowed to share that information, or?
Yeah, no, for sure. Blue Collar Hustle was the series, and then the creator Alondre Halls, right after that, he came out with a series called Black on Both Sides. So while he was like producing both of those is when I was kind of getting mentorship from him.
Oh, that's nice. Shout out to him for, paying it forward and
Yeah.
paving the way. Because now look at you, like you're paving the way for others. It's like this ripple
Mhm.
effect,
Mhm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember I was so nervous because I was like, oh, like I know people are so busy, like I don't really want to ask for like advice on this, but I was just so green and just didn't know where to start. So he was definitely helpful in that journey in the beginning.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, that's good.
What's up, Michaela? It's been a long time since me and you've actually had a conversation.
Yeah, shout out to you for getting me on here. Like, I appreciate that, because we haven't talked in a minute, but you always been so solid and supportive. So I definitely want to shout you out for getting me here.
Man, me and Michaela go way back. I used to actually write for her blog for a little bit.
Oh,
And then
wow.
we kind of linked up. I remember when she was first starting out writing, she kind of asked for my advice on some stuff. I was still very raw myself back then, but just to see what you've done so far with your platform and your opportunity, I think that, is amazing. I think you giving people out there
Thank
in
you.
Oakland, something special to do. 'Cause there's a lot of filmmaking people out there in Oakland who are like very known, but kind of like in the background, kind of quiet. So it's good to see that, you're becoming one of those filmmakers out there who's paying it forward. So I really appreciate that, especially me being from Oakland. That's home always. So I love to see people from there doing good. I guess my question for you is, through this filmmaking journey and process, and you are a filmmaker now because you've made 2 seasons of a show. You're getting ready to come out with your third. So you know a thing or two about filmmaking now.
Yeah.
What would you say to independent filmmakers who are, just starting out, just finished their script and they're trying to put it into production? What would you say to them is the hardest part or the hardest thing you've had to deal with through this whole journey? And you can't say it's the writing because that's easy.
How you gonna tell her
I
what
mean,
she can't say?
no, I'm like, that wasn't even the hardest part for me. Like, I feel like I've always just been like a writer, like I have a journalism degree. I've always had like little diaries. Like, I've always kind of just wrote about things I was going through, and like transforming it into a script was a little hard at first, but not really. I definitely think like the financial piece for sure. The financial piece, and also just dealing with different personalities and people having like different workflows, and like trying to like be a leader and like manage, know how to work with like all those different personalities, because it's not like you can just treat everybody the same. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, and you kind of have to, okay, this is how I work with this person, this is how I communicate with this person has an issue, and I'm in charge of this. So I kind of have to figure out how to like get through that obstacle and like make sure everybody's on the same page. So I definitely think like the people management of it, as far as being the creator of the show, and then also just financial for sure, because it sucks when you have like a vision and you're like, oh, I can't really afford to do it how I want, so maybe I have to cut corners, or maybe I just have to figure it out. And I've definitely just been like, oh, all the money I spent on this, like, it's worth it, but still, it's crazy. I've definitely had to make a lot of sacrifices.
No, I definitely get that. The financial and budgeting part, man, that's a whole nother ball game in itself. But you've done a really good job, like even with the fun promotions you have for like your crowdfunding. You were like unlock the box for season 3. I thought that was kind of creative and really a smart marketing tool to get people kind of excited. And then you added the '90s theme song. When you did that changed the game, 'cause it was like, all right, she's really creative. So I admired that. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, I know there's just so much content out there. There's so many talented people. There's so much coming out. So it has very much been like, how do I make myself stand out? Because I'm not the only talented writer. I'm not the only talented person. So I really have tried to get like creative. Like I was on the phone last night till midnight trying to strategize like social media content.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I remember falling asleep on the phone, and I was like, all right, we got some solid ideas. All we can do is try and see if it works.
Yeah, that's all you could do.
Yeah.
Oh, so reckless. There's so much going on, so much that we go through. You for the culture, this show is just for you. Watch Michaela try to find a way, trying to survive in a bay. But it's a new challenge every day. In reckless behavior, stay tuned to the saga. Feel fun in reckless behavior, bringing something new that everyone can.
I thought this intro was super dope too. It definitely caught my eye. It was super fun.
Thank you.
Inspiration behind your intro. I know you said you wanted to be different, but how did you come up with the 90s inspo?
Before I answer, I definitely have to say something about your hair because I've been looking at it. I'm like, it's silky, it's flowing, it's laid. I have to give you that. But
gorgeous, right?
Yes, it is. Oh my God, I love it. It looks so good.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted a theme song because I love like the old school theme song, like One-on-One, the Parkers, like Proud Family, Moesha. Like I've always thought that was so cool. And I've kind of been upset that like the newer shows don't really have a theme song. Like, the Power Universe, they still do the theme songs. But like I would have loved the Insecure theme song.
Yeah.
I would have loved like, I don't know what a Snowfall one would have sounded like, but I just love it. I love like you waiting for the show to come on and you kind of just jam.
It could have had a nice score on. It could have did a nice little score, a little gangster score in there or something.
Yeah.
They could have did something.
Right. If they could do one for Raising Kanan and all them Tower shows, they could have did it. But I've always like loved that. And like I always thought it was so cool. Like before the show comes on, you get a little concert, you get to read the names and things like that. Even like the Family Matters ones when they would just smile into the camera. I always thought it was so cool. So I definitely, the person that made it, shout out to Lear. I definitely was like 90s, like think Moesha, think Proud Family. I wanted to be like a little bop, like. And it's interesting now because I feel like season 1 was like more lighthearted, and now it's a little more serious. So sometimes I'm like, dang, the theme song is all bouncy and fun, but we really like highlighting like these kind of themes. So sometimes I'm like, dang, I don't really know if it matches anymore as it did for season 1. But
you could do like a different world and switch it up a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like it went from lighthearted, because I kind of did that on purpose. I wanted to kind of draw people in lighthearted. Then I'm like, okay, now that y'all here, we're gonna get into some things. And season 3 is just like very much like getting into some things. So I'm like, everybody gonna start off with a little nice theme song and then it gets real.
Right, take it real.
But yeah, and then the concept, I was working at the 90s experience in Jack London in Oakland. And I was just like, oh, like it would be perfect to shoot this here because it sounds 90s. And I kind of wrote a storyboard and I wrote like the treatment for it, and we just shot it there. And I told everybody, I was like, 90s clothes. Even though this show isn't set in the 90s, I think it's only right to like do it here. And plus, since I worked there, it was easy to just be like, hey, can we film here?
I'm really sad I missed that segment. I was living in Oakland when that was happening, and I was like, I really want to go, and I missed it. How was it working that?
It was fun.
At where?
At the 90s pop-up.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. It was people like traveling from all over to go. Like it was such an experience. It was such an experience. It was so nostalgic. I loved working there.
Yeah. it really made your intro pop. I loved it.
Thank
No,
you.
definitely, it definitely did.
Okay, Michaela, so do you want to share with everyone, like, what's your writing process like?
It would definitely be like I would kind of outline like the scenes I wanted and then just like get into it. Like sometimes I would be careful about like when I would start because I would just end up like, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. because I'm just once I get started, it's like really hard to stop. This season definitely went through more drafts just because I'm like, okay, I don't want to just write my script and then I'm done with it. Like I had a lot of people like reviewing it and giving me like their honest feedback. And I think I've learned a lot of how to like just get to what's happening instead of doing like the okay, like a lot of that didn't really need to be included. So I will say like my writing got chopped down a lot. And just like maybe getting some wine and winding down like after work. Like I would like to get started at like 7 p.m. Like I like to write at night. I'll definitely say like I like to write at night. Give me a snack. I'm a big snacker. Hot Cheetos, some wine, or like some Sour Patch Kids, put on like some music. I do like to match like my music to like what I'm writing. So if it's like a depressing scene, like a heartbreak scene, I'll probably have like some Neo or Mary J. Blige on in the background and just like put it like on repeat. And then I'll just write that scene. And then once I'm done, like kind of let that emotion out and then like go to like the next thing. But yeah, that's typically like my process, like writing at night, having a snack, maybe I'll have like a drink and then just get going. And then I always
outline?
What'd you say?
Do you outline?
Sometimes.
When you're on the spot.
But I feel like sometimes I feel like it's a waste of time because it ends up going somewhere completely different. Once I've started, I'll be like, oh wait, we're gonna do this instead. So I'm like, dang, I spent all this time outlining it. It doesn't look like this at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, that was her writing process. We're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we're going to get back to some more Michaela. We got a pop quiz question coming up, and maybe we'll talk about Rhanni's hair some more. But all right, I'm going to leave it to 24/7 sponsorship.
Welcome back, y'all, to our episode. We have our special guest, Michaela P. Shelton, the one and only, the writer. Yes, the writer and creator of Reckless Behavior.
Rhanni them froze.
Part 2.
Michaela, I actually had a question. I know you said that Reckless Behavior was inspired by everything you went through post-college and stuff, which is it's very relatable. It's very much relatable watching it. But what was your inspiration for the season 2 and season 3, and what is it? Can you give us any spoilers of what we can expect to see?
So I would say, I guess I'll start from, so season 1 was kind of just like, life sucks, I'm not happy. Season 2, the theme was kind of like, maybe life is better. No one still sucks. And I feel like 3, we really just see like hurting people. Like I feel like the Michaela character kind of turns into a villain. Like she's in her villain era because of all the things that she went through in seasons 1 and 2. And I feel like there's some other characters too who have went through a lot and they're just like basically like trying to get their lick back, or pretty much like, what's the word? I don't want to say, it's not nonchalant. It's like when you're like, you've been through so much, like it doesn't even affect you anymore. So a lot of characters are kind of in that based on like what they've experienced. And we kind of see how like that unfolds and like how that affects other characters in the show.
Would you say that Michaela in the show is similar to Michaela in real life? Or would you say that you tried to make you tried to give her a different personality than you?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that. I would say pretty much the same. I don't think that I've actually had a villain era though. Like I've been through a lot, but I don't think even when I've like wanted to be like, I'm about to be mean now, when I'm about to like, I've never like actually gone through that. Like it's hard for me not to like be sweet and nice. So it was definitely fun trying to like portray that in season 3 because I'm like, oh, I could be mean and that's not who I am at all. But I think the other personality traits are pretty in line with like who I am as a person and like how I respond to like situations.
Well, now I can't wait to see season 3.
Yes.
I can't wait to see the villain you created.
I can't wait for y'all to see it too. I feel like I'm being able to do that. I feel like now I can really call myself like a thespian. I'm like, I'm an actor. Because people would get on me before. They're like, you never say like, oh, I'm an actress. I'm like, because I feel like based on everything else I do, that's probably like my weakest strength. Mm-hmm. But they're like, no, you're an actress. Like, you're the main character of the show. I'm like, I don't really lead with that.
You may see you ain't the diva on the set. This, you cool.
Well,
I got questions.
It's more so because like I know I'm very picky. I'm very like grade A, like about everything. And like even some people that work with me, they're like, you're so particular. So I was like, if this is inspired by my life and I have somebody play me, I know I'm gonna be picking it apart and that's gonna be very time consuming to try and get the person to like do my mannerisms and stuff. So I was like, forget it, I'm gonna just play myself. Like I never really aspired to be an actress or anything, but I think for the purpose of doing a show about my life, I was like, it'll just be easier. I haven't acted in anything else. A couple of people have asked me and I'm like, I'm not completely opposed to it, but I definitely want to write and direct. Those are more so like my passions.
Wow.
Y'all may see me act again one day.
Well,
how you gave yourself, oh, sorry.
Okay, it was my last question. Yeah. How is it acting in a production that you wrote and you direct? What are the like challenges and what are the positivities, pros and cons?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's good. It's a pro is that I know exactly what I'm trying to portray. Like I wrote it, so I know the emotion that I'm trying to depict. So I feel like it's easy for me to do that because I know what I want it to come out as. I feel like sometimes it's hard because I feel like I'm trying to focus on my acting so much and being in character that sometimes I miss like the other actors. Like I can't, it's not like I'm able to stand and like look at how they're doing because I'm trying to make sure that I'm giving what I need to give. So sometimes that is really hard. This is the first season that I had a couple of my producers direct episodes. And it was very refreshing to be able to just act and they're straight up directing or telling us like, maybe we should get another take and things like that. Cause it's hard to juggle both. I think I've gotten better at it just because this is year 6, but it's hard. It's for sure hard, especially because I feel like I have a lot of emotional scenes. So there's no way that I can be like half in and half out trying to like give the other person direction.
That makes sense. That was a great answer. Thank you.
A woman of many hats. Like you booked yourself your first lead role. You wrote your first that's crazy. That's a huge accomplishment.
When you say it that way, y'all saying stuff ways I never thought of it. I'm like,
no, seriously,
cool.
Like that's a huge, a huge accomplishment.
I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, you the GOAT right now.
Right.
You
don't do that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. It's definitely been a journey. It's been fun. It's been hard. I done cried. It's been a lot, but I'm so proud of myself and my team for like coming this far because I definitely was like, I'm done after season 2. This was expensive. This was a lot of work. Y'all crazy.
And here you go, season 3.
Yes.
Well, speaking of season 3, are you planning on to bring it back to Tubi, like, or can you share this information? Like, are you planning on to releasing it to another network, or what are your thoughts like on that? Like, where can we expect? Like, is this going to be something even bigger on a bigger platform, or?
Well, I'm definitely working on that. That's all I'll say. I'm definitely working on that. Okay. I have some meetings. Coming up. I'm definitely trying to get it bigger, get it on multiple platforms. So stay tuned. I literally have a meeting tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be sure to say a prayer for you.
Thank you. Yes. Well. Please do. Please do. Because I feel like getting distribution is just like not easy. And even getting it on Tubi was like such a process. And I just never thought we'd be able to get there. So now I'm like, where else can we get? Like, let's keep it going and just trying to network and keep meeting people and like going through the protocol and like having conversations. So I'm definitely feel like I'm getting more immersed into like the business side of it. Because before like season 1 and 2, we just threw it on YouTube, called it a day.
I got
now.
one. Oh, you want to go ahead?
I just said, look where I got you now. We got to start somewhere. We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, a part of me though, I'm like, ooh, when it was just on YouTube, it was a lot easier when it was just myself just pressing upload. Now I got to deal with
I got one more
more
question
conversations. Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever asked you this, but so I have like it's like a 3-part question, but it's all gonna be tied into one.
Okay.
So the first one I guess of this part 3 question is what is your favorite and current movie right now? The second part is what woman director, whether it's black or white, inspires you? And then the third part is what are your views on black women in filmmaking right now?
Oh, okay. That was
not just movies, it could be TV as well, because we got some phenomenal
Deion, that's 3 separate questions. That ain't all tied in.
Look, okay, it's all one.
Like that is that's 3 different questions. He said it's gonna be 3 questions, but they're all tied in together.
I gotta get these questions off, man. You feel me?
I'm just trying to make sure I remember them. Okay, so the first question, my favorite movie? Yeah. Like, and you said something new?
Either something current or something, it could be old too.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a TV show person. Okay. As far as like movies, I will say like I'm a big Tyler Perry. You know the Tyler Perry era that I'm talking about too, like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Medea's Family Reunion. I really love Rush Hour 2. I think it's the most hilarious thing ever. Bad Boys 2, for sure. But as far as new movies, I don't really have a new movie that I really like. And in general, I just watch more shows. Gotcha. Okay. And the next question was inspiration, right? What woman director inspires you? Definitely Mara Brooke Akil is my number one like inspiration. I love her. I feel like she was really holding it down like back in the 90s before we had like all these options that we have now of women that are making moves in the industry. But I think like Being Mary Jane is like one of my favorite shows, and that definitely inspired Reckless Behavior because I feel like she just did a great job of showing like the struggles of a Black woman, and like even when you have this big house and you have all this money, you're still struggling to deal with your family, you're still struggling to date, then you don't have kids, and that's something that you're grappling with. And even though that show is more about women in their 40s, it definitely inspired me to be like, yo, like each stage of life, like not even just women, men too, like when you're in your 20s, there's like a set of dilemmas and obstacles you're going through. 30s, it's like a new issues you're dealing with, and then 40s. So I think that show just did like a really good job. I've always loved her content with the show The Game, the show Girlfriends, and then like her working on Moesha too, because I just feel like it's just accurately depicting like the Black experience and like the things that we go through. So she's definitely a lot, you know, shout out to Issa because I love Issa Rae. But people assume that that's like my number one. I'm like, Mara Brooke Akil was here before everybody. I love her. So yeah, Ava DuVernay for sure too. Nice. And then that may be all the women. I already mentioned that I love Tyler Perry, but we talking about women right now. Yeah, that's my answer for that. Thank you.
I love. I feel like the shows that you did mention, they were so relatable to the Black community and to like Black women, and even Amara Brock, her shows are so relatable in a you know, in some sense. And I feel like
good main characters too.
Relatability that you're bringing with your show, so I could see the influence that what you're saying. I could see how that influenced you, and I could see it in your work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just feel like being like vulnerable and transparent is so important. Like there's so many topics that people don't want to talk about, whether it be therapy, whether it be like abortion, whether it be suicide. And I'm like, no, we've all dealt through this. And even though people want to nowadays smile on social media like they don't struggle with mental health, like they haven't had to make a decision when they're dating somebody, or like different struggles. I feel like people just are so taboo about them, especially Black people. And I'm just like, no, we're gonna address it because we're all going through it. Like, and it's like I didn't realize. And when I was putting my blogs out before the filmmaking, I would be so nervous because if y'all ever, Deion, I don't know how many of my blogs you read, but I would really just say it. Like I would say it and just put it out there and be like, hey, like people know my business, but whatever. And people would just message me like, I've gone through that. Like, I applaud you. I've never told anybody that happened to me. And I'm just like, see, we're all going through it. We're just not talking about it. So I've always appreciated that content because it wasn't making it seem like everything's perfect once you become an adult. I feel like it was very honest about like the different stuff that happens and comes up.
One of the questions we wanted to ask you is like, what is your view on Black women in the filmmaking industry, and how has that affected you being a Black woman who's coming up in the filmmaking industry, and like your process getting in rooms probably that are hard to get into? Can you like give us a little insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there needs to be more opportunities for us, but I feel like it's definitely in a better place with like, especially the opportunities that ISA's providing. And there's so many like fellowships and there's so many opportunities to get mentorship. And I love how like Netflix has like strong Black leads. And I feel like there are people working, there are Black women that are employed and producing relatable content. I was just so happy to see. Oh, how I forget Shonda Rhimes. I'm sorry, girl. She ever see this? I'm like, how I forget her? What? What is it called? Black Barbie, about like how the Black Barbie was created. I haven't watched it yet. It's a documentary that just came on Netflix, but I'm just like, the fact that
it's good. It's really good.
It's good. You saw it already?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, like
Deion is like a machine. He just sees everything. Like before it even comes out, I'm convinced that he's got some underground.
Listen, if I ever meet some of these people on these red carpets, I'm gonna know who them names. I'm like, oh yeah, I seen your show. I watched that. Yeah, educated.
See, I'm gonna be like, I haven't watched it yet, but I know about it. But yeah, just to see that came out, and I'm like, the history behind the Black Barbie, like 20 years ago, that may have never been produced. Like even when what was it? It was about hair. I don't remember who created that, but it was Chris Rock, and like it was a whole another thing like about hair. And I feel like there's content coming out that's covering like so many different lanes of like the Black experience, the Black woman experience too. So I definitely think that it could get better. There could be more opportunities, but I feel like we're climbing. There's definitely been like an upward trajectory in like the last 20 years for sure.
Nice.
It's inspiring for sure. It's definitely like inspiring. And I just want to keep networking and getting opportunities and like meeting some of these great people.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good that, it's inspiring you to keep moving forward. I feel like there was at a point, even in my acting career, where I just felt like at a halt because of me being a Black woman, and then realizing like, oh, I don't have to wait for other people to give me opportunities. I can create it myself. And that's exactly what you did. Like you wrote your own show and starred yourself. And I just really applaud you for that, because there's going to be people who are going to hear your story. And it's like, that is an amazing thing. So just keep that in mind and keep going for all of us, because you're creating opportunities and you're letting people know I can do this myself. I don't need nobody.
I didn't know I could, but it was definitely worth a try. What'd you say?
I said you're doing it in Oakland too.
Yes.
Like, that's another thing I wanted to bring up next too, because that's another thing, like just my frustration from seeing how they depict the Bay Area and it being like, no,
oh my God,
it is not 2005. Y'all got people that clearly aren't from here.
Right.
Y'all are only showing sideshows. Y'all are only showing people like on the corner, like when there's college educated people, like we got the Silicon Valley, like there's so much out here.
The bus drivers who I've gotten like talks, not to interrupt you, but the bus drivers in there, and in the neighborhoods who drove buses for these kids, for kids, Black kids at that all their lives. They have stories that needs to be told too. Sorry, I get a little passionate when it comes to home. So,
No, as you should. And that's why I felt like watching content about the Bay. It's like, I'm like, no, I'm like, you can tell this is not authentic. These people are not from here. Y'all are focusing on that one thug narrative. Y'all are focusing on us doing the thizzle dance and us going to a sideshow.
It's
but
more
like,
to it than that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm from here. I've only been to one sideshow in my life. Like, there's different kinds. Kinds of people living different kinds of lives. So that's also a reason I wanted to do it, because I'm like, no, being from here and having everyone involved, mainly from, like, we got a few people that aren't, maybe like 3 people that like aren't from the Bay that have been involved, but I'm like, no, this is gonna come off authentic because we're literally from here.
No, when I say I was watching it, I was like, wow, I don't know the name of the bar, but I know it was kind of near Liege. Was that what it is?
I believe it was Liege.
No, where
Parliament?
Wait, are you talking about?
No, it wasn't
so we went to.
It was in season 1. I think it was like in episode 2.
Era Art Bar, 310, 310.
Yes.
310.
310. Yes. I had been there one time and it was just so nice to watch like scenes like around the lake. I'm like, I don't know where that's at. Like, just I grew up in that area. So it was really cool to see that. And also, like Deion said, like how you're shedding a positive light on our community versus like not just bipping, not just sideshows, like there are actually educated Black people in the Bay Area.
Yeah, like that happened too, but
right, exactly. That does happen, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, that was definitely like really important for me to show. And then it's like, I feel like I can't even watch stuff that's like filmed in the Bay by people not from here, because like it just makes me cringe. Like, I'm like, y'all really like wrote bruh in y'all script, like
right.
I'm like, we saying it because we say it. Like, I'm not writing bruh, like people just talking, like, and you can just tell.
You can tell, yeah.
It's so forced when they're saying it on in acting. It's like, please stop.
Right.
I gotta come off organic. Don't put it in the script.
I can't watch it. It doesn't feel like home. It does not feel like home. Like, I cannot watch it. So I just want more stuff. And I mean, we do got creatives really shooting out here and like doing their thing, which I'm happy about. But it's like the stuff that ends up getting like really big and like on major networks is never somebody that's from here. And it just, I'm sick of it.
I really love how you incorporated city nights. And like I said, I'm not from the Bay, but I went to city nights because I'm from Sacramento, or whatever, born in Sacramento, raised in LA. I've got best of both worlds. But city nights is totally a northern. If you're from NorCal, city nights is definitely a rites of passage. It's like you cannot turn 18.
Oh
man.
Like, oh man, I was like really irregular, and we got to an age where we're like, we're probably too old to go here. Like, we probably should stop.
City nights is so old that my mom used to go to city nights. Wait, and then my mom, then my aunts, who's older than my mom. Then we have like us who go, and then it's still popping. And when I was going, like, we couldn't wait for Thursdays because Thursdays is like 16 to 18, I believe. Like, you could go, and I would go all the way from Antioch. My mom would drop me and my best friend off and go to Highway 4. On Highway 4.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that unleashed like a core memory for me. So what you're doing is like, oh no, she really from the Bay for real. She like that for real.
Exactly.
Yes.
See, hearing that just makes me so happy. That's exactly like what I wanted to do.
Yes.
It's exactly what was the goal. So that makes me happy.
Yes.
The people from the Valley, because I'm going, I'm gonna stick behind my Valley people. We be in the Bay too, and I'm not saying that to say we claim in the Bay, but I'm saying that to say we see the show, so we relate too. So it's like a homage for us too.
Yay!
Yeah,
I'm so happy. That makes seriously though, like, because I just wanted people. I'm like, I want people to feel like this is legit. These are spots that you go to. Only place, because I refuse to go to San Francisco. I'm like, I probably should film in SF, but
keep it open. I mean, you could go. I mean, keep it open.
Yeah. But it's like me personally, like growing up, I didn't spend that much time. I was more so, I'm from San Leandro, so I was more so in like the East Bay, and then I went to school in San Jose. So it's like, I don't personally have that many, besides city nights. I probably don't really have memories outside of that as far as San Francisco.
I do have a question. So there was a time in the Bay Area, like I don't know if this affected you, but there was a time where they were literally
Mhm.
robbing filmmakers of like their equipment
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and people were afraid to like film in the Bay Area and these expensive cameras. And I wanted to know, like, did that affect you, like in the different areas that you wanted to film, like staple places in Oakland and places like City Nights? Like, did you have like a proper like protocol if things were to happen, or did you know about that?
Yeah, that
I
thing.
definitely knew about it. And then it's not fun. Well, maybe it's kind of funny now. I had bought a camera and I got robbed for my camera. I was leaving a Warrior game and I got robbed in the like Coliseum parking lot. And I had only had my camera for like a few weeks. So I was like devastated. I was devastated when that happened. But after that, we were filming. We definitely filmed in like some sketch areas for sure. And we were scared, but we were still like, we need that look. Like these scenes like require this look. Like if somebody's supposed to be getting robbed in an alley, we can't shoot this anywhere else. So there would definitely be some times where we would be a little bit paranoid. But we just still did and hope for the best. We never had any issues with our equipment. I mean, knock on wood in case I film again, but definitely was a little scared.
Right, this has been a really like fun, dope episode. I mean, I'm already excited. Can't wait to get to the edit room and put it out.
Oh, look, this was so
Yeah, y'all are so good. I swear I've done so many interviews and the stuff you guys are asking, like I have never been asked. I'm just like, this is cool. They
This is
come
how
with
we do
it.
it on MBT, Movie Box Talk. This is how we do it.
This how we do it.
Period.
We real film lovers over here. So,
Yeah.
we want all the ins and outs, and we really have an appreciation for independent filmmakers here. So I think that's what sets us apart. So
No
So
problem.
we're gonna have to do a when your season 3 drops, we're gonna have to do like a season 3 premiere.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Rhanni's
We'll
good
have to
exclusive.
we'll have to bring you back on and discuss season 3.
Yeah, I need to know all y'all thoughts.
Yes.
Because it's weird because it almost seems like a new show. Like it's the same, it's a lot of the same characters, but it's just so different. It's very different. So I'm just like, dang, this almost was like a whole new thing, just as far as the energy and like the stuff that's taking place.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta let everybody know where they can watch Reckless Behavior right now, and where they can when they can look forward to season 3, and where they can watch season 3.
Season 1 and 2 are currently on Tubi and on YouTube. Season 3 will come out in the fall. Not sure where it'll come out yet. Still working that out, but you guys will definitely know, and I know. And yeah, stay tuned. Go watch it on Tubi. Go watch it on YouTube.
Go watch on Tubi, YouTube.
Yes. And
yes,
Michaela,
that's where it lives right now.
and
Tell them
Michaela,
where to
where can we
follow.
follow you? Yeah, where can we follow you? What socials do you want us to follow?
Yeah, so we can follow me everywhere, but I'm mainly on Instagram, Michaela.P.Shelton. For the show page, because we do have a show profile, it's at Reckless Behavior, the series, on Instagram. And there's also like a Facebook for that too as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We're super grateful that you decided to hop on and just really be candid with us and share your experience. Y'all be sure to follow her on her social platforms. Keep up with her. She has a dope show. If you have not seen it, again, it's on Tubi called Reckless Behavior. And until next time, y'all, we out.
We out.
Thank you. Y'all are the best.
Follow, subscribe.
Appreciate the opportunity. Oh, it's so cool.
Okay, well, let's apply with Phedora.
You're watching 24/7 Live Culture.